Let's have our prayer first. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Spirit. Amen. Lord, we thank you for today. We thank you for the blessings that you have been giving to us. We continuously pray for the safety of friends, our family, and our loved ones. We continuously pray for healing and the end of this pandemic. And this we ask through Christ our Lord. Amen. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Spirit. Amen. So good afternoon, not approximately. It's 5:36 na. Close to 5:40. Question lang, do you have class before this? Or before 5:40? Siguro mga 5. Do you have class? Class po kay 3. Oh, okay. Sige. Kasi hindi ko alam sa iba. Iba-iba talaga kayo lahat. Sige. Kasi I'm planning na kung pwede 5 na lang talaga mag-start. Kasi para hindi tayo abot ng 6:30. Okay, so for today, for tonight, we will be having um, Newton's laws of motion, but I will not go to second law of motion muna. I will just have the first law of motion. Kasi I don't want to be the teacher na it will take us 2 hours or 1 hour for or 1 hour and 30 or 2 hours for a session. Um, Siguro first law muna, and then by Saturday, because we will be meeting again on Saturday, we will be meeting on Saturday. Sa Saturday na yung si second law of motion. And by the way, I think by 5:30 or by 5:40, the problem set for Newton's first law of motion will be available to you. Will be open na sa Daygler natin. Okay, so Newton's laws of motion muna, first law of motion, and then on Saturday we will have the second law of motion. Okay, because I'm planning this for this session, for this Newton's laws of motion, we will be allotting approximately 1 week and a half for this one. Because if napansin nyo si vectors at saka si motion, tatag 1 week lang ako. Sinadya ko yung shock because first, sila vectors and si motion, sila acceleration, you had discussed that one sa senior high school na matagal. So, for us, para mas mag-adjust, minadali ko lang first discussion si vectors at saka si motion because I want to focus now on the application on the Newton's laws of motion and then the energy and then so on and so forth. So expect na baka 1 week and a half na ang mga topics natin for the following na mga lessons. Okay? So that's why binilisan ko sila first few weeks or sila first two lessons. And I hope na naka-cope up na lahat sa pacing natin. Because I have received some messages from others na they are still coping up with their backlogs. Okay? So if you're dealing with backlogs, kindly tell me para din naman maka-adjust ako sa inyo. Okay? So for now, first law of motion. That's why medyo madali lang din itong session na ito for tonight. Siguro mga 1 hour lang tayo or less than 1 hour. Because I just want to practice you on making the free body diagrams. And if you have questions for the sample problems and if you have questions regarding the concept, please tell me or you can unmute your mic or you could chat in or type in your questions. And I would highly appreciate it if you have your calculators there also para mag-counter check. Okay, so again, for those people na naka Google Grid View, kindly disable your Google Grid View and then kindly pin the presentation. Kasi if naka Google Grid View, the presentation is very little lang. It's just a portion. It will not take up the whole screen of your monitor. So para mas maklaro natin ang solution is that I suggest na disable muna si Google Grid View and ipin. Tapos, if hindi ka si problems kasi niliitan ko lang itong si problem dito, maliit lang na window. Kasi I have uploaded already the sample problems nasa Daigler natin, nasa lesson 3 na ano 'to, na tile. Okay, so you can download it there. Okay, so let's start. I will start with the first law lang. Chill lang ito ha, mga 5 problems or 6 problems na ata ito. 5 problems na ata ito na chill. The first 2 questions pa talaga is grabe ka chill. Okay? So for this one, draw the free body diagram of each figure shown. Consider the surface frictionless. I hope na nakita nyo na kung paano mag-draw ng free body diagram and alam nyo na anong meaning ng frictionless. Okay? This is dedicated sa isang tile doon sa ating lesson number 3. And it's a good example there or it's a good na discussion din na kung paano gumawa ng free body diagram. Okay, so let's have this one. Let's have letter A first. In doing the free body diagram or drawing the FBD, it's very important for us to analyze na we are not analyzing our objects here na kasi for example naka-box na as a box i-analyze natin siya as a box, or if tao mismo we are not analyzing or taking into account the shape of the person. We are still under the idea na naka-idealized models muna tayo. So ang ginagawa natin, if idealized model nga, if mapansin nyo, is that ano to, puro tayo naka point particle. If mapansin nyo sa mga ano to, sa mga problems sa university physics, it's always saying na a particle or the particle na or the a point particle is undergoing motion or subjected to a motion, subjected to a force. Okay, so sorry for the chickens. So for this one, so if you have this situation A here, so dalawang boxes, we will make it an idealized model na point particle lang silang dalawa. So let's have letter 1. Letter 1. Number 1, letter A. Okay? So if dalawang bodies na ang ina-analyze natin, this is treated as one system but two bodies, is that we also allot 2 point particles. We separate them. So you have a point particle A and then you have a point particle B. And then if drawing the free body diagram, then they should have a separate free body diagram. So you have FBD for the particle A and then FBD for particle B or box B if you want. So for this kind of illustration or situation, we expect na dalawa ang ating free body for letter A. And for letter B, if tatlong boxes yan siya, we expect na 3 na free body diagram. Okay, so let's start with number 1, letter A. So we have FBD ni A. By the way, I am recording this. This will be available siguro later. So FBD of box A. Okay, so for letter A pa tayo. So point particle lang. Ayan. And then, point particle, it's better for us to draw our X and Y plane. Wherein ang center natin or the origin of the X and Y plane or X and Y axis is nas doon si point particle. So, ayun. Ayan. And then yung take note, positive X, positive Y. Ako, as is ako, positive X, positive Y to the right and going up as positive. And then I will draw my forces. Ano yung mga forces na na-experience ni A? By the way, forces, hindi natin yan siya nakikita. Okay? And then, si forces, that it is better for us to represent it using using vectors. That's why inuna talaga si vector analysis. So you have there discussed na you have several forces. You have your tension, you have your gravity, sige, tension muna, and then you have the normal force, and then you have the gravitational pull, you have the weight, and then you also have, nasabi ko na ba, friction, and then sometimes if there's a electromagnetic force if you want, okay, so tayo is yung mga fundamental forces muna that sila weight lang muna, sila normal, o si tension force lang muna ang in-account or si friction force. But this one, frictionless. So wala tayong friction. So si normal force, it is always said na si normal force is perpendicular to the surface. If this is the table, you can see, if this is the table, si normal force is always perpendicular to the table. So si normal force is pataas sa ating point particle. Okay, so this is now our normal force. So Fn. Okay, so that's our normal force. Next is that nakita natin na si box A always yan siya may mass. So if may mass and then it is constantly pulled by gravity, then it is interacting with gravity also. So meaning to say, meron tayong weight, meron tayong gravitational pull. And the gravitational pull is always going down. Okay, regardless of its orientation, nakapaslat man yan ang ating ramp, it is always pointing downwards. So pababa tayo, papunta tayo kay negative y. So this is our Fg, the gravitational pull, or pwede din itong weight. I'll just write there, weight. Okay? Next is connected siya to a wire. So most probably, meron tayong tension forces. So you have your tension force sa positive x. So you have there F. Yan. If nasanay kayo na tension T, tapos si normal force as N, okay lang ako. If si Fg is weight, i-W nyo siya, okay lang din ako. Okay? Just be clear lang kung ano yung ginagawa nyo, alam nyo anong ginagawa nyo. And also, for the tension forces, baka may mag-tension force dito na papunta kay A. Si tension force, it is always pointing away sa ating point particle. So, papalayo siya. Okay, so if mapansin mo, si tension force ng ating point particle A is papunta siya sa positive x. Papalayo siya kay point particle A. So this will now become the free body diagram of A. And then yan si point particle A or si box A is connected to your box B. So there's another free body diagram for that one. So you have the FBD of B. Ayan. So again, point particle. Then we could have your positive x and negative, not positive, negative. You have x and y plane. So positive x, positive y. And then the forces. Take note that si box B is nakahang lang. So wala sa surface, wala yung normal force. Okay? Next is, still, meron yan siyang weight. Gravity is acting on it. So it is always pulling downwards. So papunta sa baba si weight. So let's be clear with this one. This is Fg or the gravitational pull. Nakita nyo Fg, dalawa na ako sa isang system. So I will just write here Fg B and then dito si Fg A. Para hindi lang mawala. Para alam nyo na this is the weight of box A and then weight of box B. Okay? Next is the tension force. Si tension force is papalayo kay B going up. Kasi nandun si tali, nasa taas niya. So, this is your tension, F. Yan. So, this is our free body diagram for letter A. So, dalawang boxes, dalawang free body diagram. Okay? If you have questions, don't hesitate to ask questions. Baka later may mag-message na naman. Better ako sa questions na i-address natin siya sa lahat. For everybody's consumption. Baka same din kayo ng question. Okay? So, let's have letter B. This one. So, for letter B, you have 3 boxes. Pwede ko man pala i-zoom. Kanina ko pa gustong i-zoom. Wait lang. Ayan. For letter B, so you have the 3 boxes. Si letter B or si box B is nasa incline at a 36.9 degree angle. So, tatlong free body diagrams. Let's start with FBD ni A. So, FBD of A. Ayan. So, SOP, point particle, your X and Y axis, and then the forces. So weight, always going down. FGA, we just put A. And then we have the normal force kasi nga nasa floor si A. So normal force going up. Ayan. Since tatlong system, that tatlong boxes ako, I will just write here normal force of A. Okay? Next is meron akong tension that is pointing towards the right. So this is our tension force. Ayan. FT. Pero let's be clear with our tension force. You have here different force, different cables kasi. You have here isang cable connected kay A papunta kay B, and then isang cable naman connected kay B papunta kay C. Okay? So para ma-distinguish ko lang silang dalawa, I will just put, kayo bahala. Pwede nyo ilagay dito FTAB or pwede din naman mag-number kayo. Ako, I will just put number na lang. So I will just write FT1. Okay, so etong tension na to is denoted as FT1. Okay? So this is now your free body diagram for letter A. Next is FBD ni B. FBD of B. Ayan. This is kinda tricky because as you can see, si B is nasa ramp. So, ito, for the benefit of everybody, is that it is better for us to, ano to rotate na lang din ang ating X and Y axis. Okay? So, ang magiging itsura niyan is, if ito si particle, ganito ang itsura ng X, yan. Ay, sorry. Ng ating X and Y. Okay, so we could have here as perpendicular. So you have here your positive X and then positive Y. So ganyan ang itsura natin for our free body diagram. Okay? So paano ngayon yung mga angles for that one? Kasi susundan natin ang itong FBD na or ating X and Y axis. Susundan natin ito. So sulat muna natin ang mga forces natin bago tayo mag-analyze ng angle. So alam natin na si B is nasa ramp, so meaning may normal force. And the normal force is always perpendicular to the surface. So it is nasa positive Y. So nandito siya diretso. Okay, so this is your normal force ni B. Because again, perpendicular dapat ng ating normal force sa surface. Next is the weight. The pull of gravity is always pointing downwards. Dito nagkakamali yung iba. Nilalagay nila diretso, eto, nasa negative Y. That is my gravitational force. That's wrong. Mali na siya. Because it is not pointing towards that direction. It is straight downwards. Okay? So, hindi siya parallel with our negative Y. So, ang itsura natin dito, it should be pointing downwards. So, papunta dito. It is in between your negative, sorry. It is in between your negative Y and negative X. So, this is your weight. Pull of gravity, FG, box B. Ayan. Next is the tension forces. Left and right ng B is connected to a rope, to a cable. So, meaning to say, meron akong dalawang tension force. Nasa to the right and then nasa to the left. So, let's start with the to the left muna. So, this will be the tension force. Ayan. So, this is our tension force. And it is connected to A. So, we denoted that one as FT1. Ayan. Okay? Next is si FT, itong si right na tension. So, it's to the right. Punta dito. So let that be FT2. Ayan. So that's your free body diagram for your box B. Pero take note of the angle. Because as we all know, kapag merong angles nga, we have to analyze the vectors kasi mag-addition of vectors tayo, di ba? We have to analyze the vectors na dapat nasa X at saka nasa Y lang. So, ang gagawin natin, we have to express or decompose this gravity, pull of gravity into X at saka Y. For all we know, nandito si FGB, Y, and then nandito si, wait lang, let me, nandito si FGBX. Ayan. And para ma-express natin yan sila into components, kailangan natin yung angle. And it is always said na kung ano yung angle ng ramp, yun ang angle between our negative y axis and our pull of gravity. So meaning this is just equal also to 36.9 degrees. Okay? So this one is 36.9. So para makita natin yun siya, bakit siya 36.9? Let's have this one first. Some of you have seen the derivation already, so I hope you could still remember. Ayan. So this is just a right triangle. Oh, this is just our ramp. Ayan. Oh. And then this is the pull of gravity. And let's say this is our negative x. Ayan. And we want this angle here, that one. Let's have that as alpha. And this one as theta. Kunin natin ang value ni alpha. So, paano yan siya is that, for all we know, this one right here is just a right triangle. Tama ba? So, if this is a right triangle, the angles between is just equal to 180 degrees. Your interior angles will just equal to 180 degrees. So, if this is beta, beta, yan. So, we have here 90 at this point, 90 plus theta plus beta is just equal to 180 degrees. So, theta plus beta is just equal to 90 degrees. Okay. Next is eto na triangle. Yan siya. Yan na triangle. This one is also a right triangle. Ito dito, this is just equal to 90 degrees. Okay? So meaning, beta plus alpha is just equal to 90. So solving for that one, so beta plus alpha is just equal to 90 lang pala. Wherein, wala tayong value ni beta. So coming from that one, we just have to transform this. So beta is just equal to 90 minus theta. So this is, I'm sorry for the dogs, 90 minus theta plus alpha equal now to 90. Okay? So, cancel out 90 minus 90. So, transpose natin si theta. So, alpha is just equal to theta. So, meaning to say, kung si theta daw is just equal to, say, 40, so si alpha din is also equal to 40 degrees. If alpha is, or if theta is 60, then the alpha, sorry, if theta is 60 degrees, then alpha is also 60 degrees. Hence, our angle between our to our negative x-axis and to our weight or FGB If the ramp is 36.9, so the angle between them should be 36.9 degrees also. Okay, I hope na nagets natin yun siya kasi there are people na ako mismo ha, personally, during my college days and review days, I really don't get why kung ano yung angle ng ramp, bakit siya diretso, yun din ang angle between my negative x and my weight. Okay, so I hope now it is just a right triangle. You could always derive kung bakit siya ganun. Okay? So, this is now the free body diagram your of our box B. Okay? Sa free body diagram ba, sir, kailangan ba siyang express si X at saka si Y? I personally suggest yes. If nakita nyo na it is inclined at a certain angle or wala siya sa positive X or negative X or whatsoever, hindi siya parallel with the positive X and positive Y, I suggest that you have to decompose it diretso na sa ating free body diagram. Okay? Para hindi tayo malito later on. So, let's have the third one, si box C. So, FB din C. By the way, wala pa ta nag-solve. Nag-ano lang ta, nag-illustrate sa proper na free body diagram. Okay? So, si box C is nakahang lang. So, mas dali kung nakahang. So, alam mo, if nakahang, wala nang normal force. So, walang normal force, but meron kang tension muna. Tension. It is connected kay B sa right. So, this is just equal to FT2. Ayan. And then, you have the weight of C. So, FGC. Ayan. Ayan. So, that's the free body diagram of C. Now, any questions regarding free body diagram? Going one?
Sir,
Yes.
same pa rin ba ang processor if ano siya, pababa yung ano niya? Instead paakyat, pababa yung body or yung particle.
Yung pababa yung ramp.
Opo, sir.
Same pa din. If pababa siya, say for example, pag ganito, so if mag FBD ka, let's say for example, ganyan. Let's say this is 30. So if pababa siya, so ito is 30 pa din. Ayan. Same lang. Any more questions?
Thank you, sir.
Sure. Questions? For faster transactions, you can unmute your mic, especially if question. Yes, Jet. Nag-unmute.
Ay, ano sir, sabihin ko lang sana na wala na akong question, sir.
Okay. Sorry. Okay, thank you. Sige, let's have number 2. Sample problem number 2. Ayan, paulit-ulit itong si number 2. Siguro I will just have the gist of number 2. So, sample problem number 2. The system shown in the figure are in equilibrium. If the ang spring scales natin, it measures its weight and especially the force that is being applied or being exerted by to the spring. Okay, ito si spring scales natin. Are calibrated in newtons. What do they read? Ignore the masses of the pulleys and strings, and assume the pulleys and incline in part B are frictionless. So you have different situations, different illustrations. So let's start with letter A. Actually, madali lang din ito. Ito ang gusto ko. Yan. Let's start with letter A. 5 kilograms, dalawa. So in any problem, it is always better to have a free body diagram. Okay, so dalawang 5 kilograms, so dalawang free body diagram ang makikita natin dito. If you want to draw the free body diagram of the spring scale, okay lang din. Okay? So let's start with the free body diagram sa left na 5 kilograms. Left na 5 kilograms. So you have here, ayan. So let's have, i-draw ko na lang ang FBD ni spring scale para makita nyo ito later. Okay? So left na 5 kilograms, you have the, ano to? The tension force, FT. Let's have that as FT1. And then, you also have the weight, so FG. Yan. FG lang isulat ko because same lang yan silang 5 kilograms. Okay? Next is the FBD of the spring scale. Weightless lang daw siya, pero I will draw the free body diagram of it. So, ang force lang na na-apply sa kanya is actually yung dalawang tension. So, let's have it here. You have FT. Naka-connect siya sa left, so FT1. And then, ito may naka-connect sa right. I will have that as FT2. Okay? And then, yung sa right na scale, right na 5 kilograms. So, I have here, let's have that as FT2. And then, the weight, FG. Na-discuss ito sa video lectures, the difference between the mass and then the weight. In solving for the weight is just equal to mass times the acceleration, the magnitude of the acceleration due to gravity g. Okay? So this is a vector quantity, so meron siyang direction. The direction for us for this one is going downwards. Hence our FG is always going downwards. Okay, so let's have the weight of this one, the magnitude of the weight. So this is 5 kilograms times 9.8 meters per second squared. So Fg is 5 times 9.8, 49. Unit, it should be in newtons. Okay, kasi ang unit natin for forces is kilogram meters per second squared, which is equivalent to a newton. Okay, so 49 newtons. So the magnitude of our forces due to gravity here is 49 newtons. Sige, isa-isahin natin ito. This is under first law of motion pa din. So, pwede mo ma-apply si first law na first law ka muna kay left na 5 kilograms, kay right, at saka kay spin scale. Isa-isa. Hindi sila pwede na mag-combine kaagad. Okay? So, using FBD na left. So, it will obey first law. Ako ay write in my solutions, I always write first na anong law ang ma-obey. First law, and that is summation of all forces, it will just be equal to 0. No acceleration or constant speed siya. Okay? Or it is at rest. So, isa-isahin, alam natin na si forces, you have forces sa x equal to 0. You also have forces sa y equal to 0. And we all know, etong si left at saka si right, or si left, is nasa y lang. So, we will be using this one. Summation of forces sa y is equal to 0. So, FT1 is pointing up, so positive. And FG is pointing down, so negative. So, you have FT1 minus FG equal to 0. So, FT1 pala is just equal to FG. Meaning, FG is just 49 newtons. FT1 is just equal to 49 newtons. Okay? And then, using the FBD of right, ayan. So, first law pa din, summation of forces sa y. equal to 0. So FT2 pointing up, FG pointing down. FT2 minus FG is just equal to 0. So FT2 is just equal to FG. So FT2 pala is still equal to 49 newtons. As you can see, FT1 pala is just equal to 49 newtons. Same thing with FT2. So, makita mo din siya dito actually sa ating, if you want to check ha, dito sa FBD ng ating spring scale. So, si FBD ng spring scale, as you can see, if mag-summation of forces ka dito, left and right, negative FT1 and then positive FT2. So, lipat mo lang sa FT1, use your algebra, meaning to say FT1 is just equal to FT2. Diba? So, meaning, dapat, makita ko din dapat sa answer ko na equal pala si FT1 at saka si FT2. So, nakita natin, they are just equal. FT1 and FT2 equal lang 49 newtons. So, ang question ngayon, ano ang reading sa ating spring scale? If may ganito na nangyayari. So, ang reading for this one is, obviously, it should be at 49 newtons. Okay? So, that's how we answer our, ano to? That's how we answer our Newton's first law of motion. Let's have letter B. Ito. So, letter B, still at 5 kilograms. So, anong reading natin for this one? I think nakita nyo na din anong reading natin for this. It is just equal lang din kay 49 newtons. So, letter B. Ayan. So, FBD. Dito tayo magkakatalo sa FBD. So, for letter B, so you have here sino ba? Si 5 kilograms muna. Ayan. So, up. Nakahang si 5 kilograms, so wala itong normal force pa din. So, this is your FT. And then you have your weight, FG. And then C, spring scale. So, you have tension force here, FT. And then you also have here the tension force. Let's have that as FT1. Whereas FT1, it will just be equal to FT lang din. Okay, so summation of force using the 5 kilograms. Yan. Using the 5 kilograms, first law, summation of forces equal to 0. So, sa y lang pa din, summation of forces sa y equal to 0. So, Ft minus Fg equal to 0. So, Ft is just equal to Fg. Alam natin, Fg for 5 kilograms, that is just still 49 newtons. Ayan. So, this is our answer for letter B. Now, we now have letter C. Ito ngayon si letter C. Paano natin gawin si letter C? Sige. C, you have different, different configurations here. So, si letter C, medyo complicated. Paano yan ngayon, sir? Diba? So, let's have the box muna. So, left box, FBD of left box. So, SOP, tension force. Let's have that as FT1. And then you have the weight, FG. I will just denote it as FG na lang because this is still the same 5 kilograms. And then I have the right na box. So I have here FT2. And then I have here FG. Ayan. And then I will have the pulley. FBD of the pulley. 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 Ayan. So, FBD of the pulley, by the way, massless si pulley daw. So, walang weight si pulley. So, si pulley, point particle pa din. Ayan. You can see here sa pulley natin, nakakonect siya sa left at saka sa right. So, meron siyang dalawang tension forces here. So, ang ginagawa natin dyan is, I will not just write it as a straight line diretso, baka malito ako. Nagka-curve lang ako. So, I have here si FT1 sa left, and then I have here si FT2 sa right. Ayan. And then, I have the tension force para makonect siya doon kay spring scale. So, this is I will write that as FT3. Okay? And then, I have the spring scale. So, I have the tension sa taas. FT lang muna yan. And I have the spring scale FT3. Ayan. This is the complete free body diagram of my system for letter C. So, ang hinahanap actually is itong si FT3. Ano daw ang reading spring scale? Na if nakakabit itong dalawang 5 kilograms sa isang pulley. So, alam dapat natin ano si FT1, alam dapat natin ano si FT2. Okay? And then makuha dapat natin si FT3. Para makuha natin si FT3 is gagamitin natin ang free body diagram ng pulley. So let's have first the free body diagram of the left and right box. So FBD ng left, using left. FBD. Still, this will obey first law, summation of forces equal to 0. So, summation of forces sa y, this is equal to 0. So, you have FT1 minus FG equal to 0. So, FT1 is just equal to FG. So, FT1 is just equal to 49 newtons. Again, bakit 49? That is just mass times gravity. So, 5 times 9.8. Next is using the right FBD. So, summation of forces sa y equal to 0. So, FT2 minus FG equal to 0. So, FT2 equal lang kay FG. So, FT2 is just equal to 49 newtons. Okay? And then, you can now solve for FT3 by using the free body diagram of the pulley. So, using FBD of pulley. Yan. So, first law pa din, equal to 0. And then, puro sa y. So, summation of forces sa y equal to 0. So, free body diagram, you have FT1 and FT2 going down. And then, you have FT3 going up. So, this will become FT3 minus FT1 minus FT2 equal to 0. So, FT3 is just equal to FT1 plus FT2. So, this is 49 plus 49 newtons. So, FT3, this is just equal to 98 newtons. Okay, so si FT3 ngayon is just equal now to the spring to the reading of our spring scale. So if nakahanging dalawang 5 kilograms, ang reading na ating spring scale is 98 newtons. Okay? So that's how we will be dealing with this kind of problem. This is called an Atwood's machine. Makikita natin itong mechanism na ito if you could see the back of the elevator. Okay, so if there's difference in masses, then one body will accelerate down and the other one will accelerate up, going up. Okay? Next is we have this one. Is sa letter D. Ano daw ang reading um, ng ating spring scale? Ito, by intuition, kasi if nakita nyo dito na, baka multiples of 49 newtons lang ito lahat. Pero pagdating kay D, kay letter D, hindi. Iba. Kasi by intuition, sasabihin nyo, si tension dito, sir, is just equal pa din kay 49 newtons. Pero take note that this is at a certain angle, 30 degrees. Naka-inclined ka, di ba? So, tapos if naka-inclined siya, so dapat ang ating x and y axis is naka-rotate. So, hindi siya ngayon equal diretso kay weight na 5 kilograms. 5 kilograms times 9.8. Iba siya. Okay? So, let's draw the free body diagram for that one. Letter D. So, ito lang, naka-incline. Sorry if hindi siya perfect na perpendicular. Ayan. So, this is our 5 kilograms. Or 5. Oops. 5 kilograms. So, you have the normal force, Fn, and then you have the weight. The pull of gravity is always going down. So, pababa siya diretso. Ana. So, this is your Fg. And then you have your tension force. Again, si tension force, that's the reading of our spring scale, Ft. Okay? Nakita nyo, si Fg is wala sa x at saka sa y. Wala, hindi siya naka-components. So, ang angle between the negative x and then with Fg na vector is 30 degrees. Kasi ang ramp natin is 30 degrees. So, decompose this in two components. You have here Fgy and then you have Fgx. Ayan. If nakakita ako ng mga angles or ng mga Fgx and Fgy, hindi muna ako nagsosolve ng first law of motion. Na-express ko muna sa Fgx at saka si Fgy in terms of the angle muna. So, Fgx, with respect to 30, I hope everyone knows their trigo pa. With respect to 30 degrees, si Fgx is the opposite side. So, you will be using SOHCAHTOA, so opposite sign. So, this is Fgx is just equal to Fg sine theta. Okay? SOHCAHTOA. And then si Fgy with respect to 30, this is the adjacent side. So, SOHCA, so cosine. So, Fgy is just equal to Fg cosine theta. Okay? Don't forget about that one. SOHCAHTOA. And it is not always the time na FGX sign kaagad. There are instances na si FGX pwede yan siya mag-cosine. Same thing with FGY. Pwede yan siya mag-sine. Okay? Just take note of the right triangle. When in doubt, just go back to the idea of right triangle and the angle. And then, dun mo siya makikita ano pala dapat ang trigo identity na gagamitin. Okay? Not trigo identity. Ano yun? Tama ba? So, ayan, trigo identity. Trigonometric functions. Okay, so let's solve. So, si Ft natin, alam natin na nasa positive x ito, right? Okay, so summation of forces sa x na lang. So, first law pa din ito, using the free body diagram of 5 kilograms, summation of forces is just equal to 0, first law. So, summation of forces sa x is equal to 0. So, sa x natin, meron akong Ft going to the positive. So, positive Ftx. And then, si Fgx. Fgx papunta dito. Papunta kay negative x. So, it should be minus Fgx. So, this is equal to 0. So, Ftx is just equal pala. Sorry, this is not Ftx. Ft lang. Sorry, Ft lang yan. And Ft. So, Ft is just equal to FGX, wherein that is just equal to FG sine theta. We already know what is FG, and that is 49 newtons. So sine, and then the angle 30. We are expecting a less value for FP. Bakit siya less value? Kasi nga, as you can see, medyo supported naman si box natin by the ramp. So, it should be less than 49 newtons. So, 49 sine 30. So, this is equal to 24.5 newtons. That is now our answer. Okay? So, nakita nyo, may ramp. So, nag-lessen siya. Naging 24.5 newtons. Because there are instances, there are people talaga na nagsasabi na, Sir, na ako nakuha is ingon ani nga value. Nagdadalawang isip ako if tama ba siya na value. Kasi, if ganito lang siya na diagram or na illustration na problem, dapat it should be lesser than the pull of gravity. So, it should be less than 49 newtons because umalalay sila. Okay? So, that's how we solve for our number 2. So, number 2 pa lang, medyo natagalan na tayo. Okay? Any questions so far? By the way, this is still a practice pa si number 2. Hindi pa yun siya yung grabe ka-intense na problem. Ang next na ata. Okay? So, by the way, puro tayo first law muna ha. Baka mabigla kayo na first law lang naging discuss. Again, first law lang muna. By Saturday, we will have the second law. Okay? So, let's have the next problem. Problem number 3. Ayan. By the way, this is one of the activities that we will be doing. This will be under ring in equilibrium. And some of you are familiar with the ring in equilibrium na. But we will still be doing that one. Pero lab at home ito. So, a traffic light weighing 122 newtons hangs from a cable tied to two other cables fastened to a support as shown. The upper cables make angles of 37 degrees and 53 degrees with the horizontal. As you can see here, the 53 and then the 37. These upper cables are not as strong as the vertical one, itong si T3, and will break if the tension in them exceeds 100 newtons. So if masobra ng 100 newtons kay T1 or kay T2, masisira ang ating cable, mapuputol. Does the traffic light remain hanging in this situation or will one of the cables break? So, ang tinatanong lang talaga dito is, anong value ni T1 at saka ni T2? Okay? So, for number 2, let's have the free body diagram. The free body diagram of the traffic light. Ayan. Number 3. This is kind of long. And then, if mapansin nyo, ganito always ang examples or ganito always ang mga problems if first law of motion. So, FBD, I will write muna the FBD ng aking, ano ba to? Ng aking point dito sa center. Okay? So, FBD at, I will just write there, BD at not. Or at the center. Center, ito ha. Okay? So, I have here, FBD, X and Y. And then I have T1, T2, and T3. So, let this be T2. Oops. This time, I will not use FT muna. Kasi sinulat dito is T1 and T2 diretso eh. So, mag T2 muna ako and T3 and T1. So, that's T2. And then we have T1. Then I have T3. Ayan. Next is my inspection, it is at a certain angle, right? So, ito dito, this is 37. And then ito dito, sorry, wala na noon sila natin nagka-align. Dapat naka-align, wait lang. Palitan natin. Palitan ko lang. Ayan. So, ito dito is 53. Yeah, 53. Ayan. So, if 37 yun siya sa taas, ito din is 37, ito dito. And then 53 din ito dito. Ayan. So, decompose ko lang siya into components. I will have the T1X and T1Y and then T2X and T2Y. So, this is T2X, T2Y, T2X, sorry, T1X, then T1Y. Ayan. Express ko na siya into components na. So, trigo function. With respect to 53, si T2X is the adjacent ngayon. And si T2Y is the opposite side. So, nag-switch. Kanina, nag-sign tayo nag-sign tayo kay X. So, ngayon, si X ngayon, T2X, this is just equal to T2 cosine 53. And then si T2Y, this is T2 sine 53. Same thing with our T1Y and T1X. So T1X, this is T1 cos 37. And T1Y, this is T1 sine 37. Ayan. I hope na nakikinig pa ang lahat. So, na, almost 1 hour na ako. So, problem number 3. We still have 2 problems. Dali lang siya. Di ta maabot og 3 hours sure ko ana. Dito ta maabot og sobra 2 hours. Okay, so we have now the free body diagram of the nut sa center mismo. Let's have the free body diagram of the light, of the street light. FBD. Kaya ba sa kilid? Ito na sa dito. FBD of street light. Yan. So I have the street light here. So I have T3 going up. And then I have the weight of the street light. The weight of the street light is already given, and that is equivalent to 122 newtons. So sulat ko lang dito where Fg is equal to 122 newtons. Okay? So, let's solve. Technique for solving is dun muna ako sa pinaka-simple na FBD. Baka may makuha ako. And the simplest FBD na makikita natin dito is the FBD of the street light. Diba? So, dun muna ako sa FBD ng street light. So, using the free body diagram of street light, BD of street light, so, summation of forces sa Y is just equal to 0. First law pa din tayo. So, summation of forces, T3 going up, Fg going down. So, this is T3 minus Fg equal to 0. So, T3 is just equal to Fg. So, meaning, T3 is just equal to Fg natin, 122 Newton. By the way, that's already given. You can see here. Traffic light weighing 122 Newtons hangs. Ayan. So, T3 is just equal to 122 Newtons. You can now go to the free body diagram of the nut at the center. So using FBD of nut. Ayan. So, kayong bahala. If mag-X ka, okay lang. If mag-Y ka, okay lang din. Okay, so let's start with X. So, summation of forces sa X equal to 0. Ang mga forces natin sa X is si T1X lang at saka si T2X. Okay, so T1X pa talaga is going to the left, T2X is to the right. So this is T1 negative T1X minus T2X equal to 0. Let's express T1X and T2X in terms of, sorry, this is plus. In terms of the expressions na nakuha natin kanina, T2X is T2 cos 53 and T1X is T1 cos 37. So negative T1 cos 37 plus T2 cos 53 equal to 0. So you can see wala pa tayong makuha. Two unknowns siya. So hanap tayo ng isang equation. And yung isang equation is nasa y. So summation of forces tayo sa y. Summation of, let this be equation 1 muna ba? Yan. Summation of forces sa y equal to 0. So sa y natin, you have three forces. You have T2y, you have T1y, and then you have T3. T1y, T2y going up, T3 going down. So this is T1y plus T2y minus T3 equal to 0. So express natin si T1y and T2y in terms of T1 sine 37 and T2 sine 53. Okay. So have T1y. So this is T1 sine 37 plus T2 sine 53 minus T3 equal to 0. So equation number 2. Ayan. So T1, T2 pa rin ang unknown natin sa equation number 2. So two equations, two unknowns. Kayong bahala paano nyo paano nyo gawin ito. Pwede ka naman na if gusto nyo munang kunin si T2, okay lang din. Or si T1, okay lang din. Okay? So ako, let's start with T1. Kayong bahala dito ha. It's really up to you kung paano mo siya i-analyze. So I will manipulate muna equation number 2. Manipulate equation number 2. I want kasi to get muna T2. Okay, so I have here T1 sine 37 plus T2 sine 53 minus T3 equal to 0. So T2 sine 53 equal to T3 minus T1 sine 37. So T2 ko is just equal to T3 minus T1 sine 37 all over sine 53. Okay? So this is now your equation number 3. So next step is nakuha mo na si T2, hindi mo yan siya pwedeng i-substitute ka equation number 2. Kasi ang na-manipulate mo is equation number 2. So, i-substitute mo si equation 3 doon sa hindi pa nagamit, and that is your equation number 1. So, substitute equation 3 in 1. So, this is T1 sine 37 plus T2. So, this is T3 minus T1 sine 37 all over sine 53 sine 53. minus T3. Ay, sorry, mali. It should be cos 53. Yan. Tama ba? Plus, yeah, cos 53 equal to 0. Okay? So, it's up to you kung paano ka lalabas dito na equation. Okay, so, it's up to you if it is ipalabas mo muna si T1. Okay, so, palabas natin si T1. Ang gusto kong gawin is, I will multiply both sides by sine 53. Ayan. So, I will have T1 sine 37 times sine 53 plus will become T3 minus T1 sine 37 cos 53 equal to 0. So, this is now equal to T1 sine 37 sine 53 plus distribute ko lang si cos 53 sa loob. So, this is T3 cos 53 minus T1 sine 37 cos 53 equal to 0. So, palabas natin si T1. So, T1 times sine 37. Wait lang. There's something wrong. Tama pala. Tama pala. Kasi akala ko mag-minus. Correct. Sine 37, sine 53. And then, this is minus, so negative sine 37 cos 53. Ayan. Lipat ko na si T3. So, this will become negative T3 cos 53. Ayan. Taas na kaayo. So, T1 now is just equal to negative T3 cos 53 all over sine 37 sine 53 minus sine 37 cos 53. So, T1 is, substitute natin si T3 ngayon. Nakuha natin si T3 kanina, 122 newtons. So, this is negative 122 newtons cos 53 all over sine 37 sine 53 minus sine 37 cos 53. So, T1 is negative. I hope you have your calculators. And please kindly check your calculators if naka-degree mode or naka-radians na mode. Wait lang. Bakit ang answer ko is negative 619.9 newtons. Wait lang ha, let me check my algebra. There's something wrong with my algebra. I hope everyone could check.
Sir, sa kuan siguro.
Sa,
Diba substitute yung sa yung equation 3 sa equation 1.
oo.
Negative T1 cos 30.
Negative ta. Correct. Thank you for that one. Hindi ko nasali si negative, no? Ayan, it should be negative. Thank you. So, negative. So,
Cos
dapat,
90 ta, sir.
ito siya dapat is negative sine 37. Ayan, so this is negative. Ayan. Tama ba? Same tayo, 87. Yeah. This is 87 point, wait, 1, 2, 3. So 87.1 newtons. Do we have the same answer? Correction lang, it should be negative. Thank you. So, dapat ito dito. Check the negative here. Cos 37. Wait lang, saan banda? Saan banda si cos 37?
Ay, doon sa nilagyan mo ng negative, sir. Ata. Sa
Ah,
first.
yeah. So, thank you, thank you. Sige. Tama, tama. Sorry, sorry. Ayan, no. So, it should be cos 37. Thank you for that one. So, T1 cos, wait lang. Para ang correction ko is klaro. This is negative T1 cos 37. By the way, paano ko nasabi kanina na pag-calculate ko, nasabi ko na bakit siya mali? Kasi ang nakuha ko na value is negative. Dapat magtaka tayo, bakit negative ang makukuha natin? Because ang mangyayari dyan, ang makukuha dapat natin is puro positive because as you can see, we already accounted for the direction. And ang kinukuha natin dapat is magnitude lang. Magnitude lang. So, dapat, ang, ang makukuha natin na value for T1 or any tension, if this is na-follow natin yung mga, ano to? Yung mga directions, is dapat positive ang makukuha natin. Kaya nasabi ko, nagtaka ako kaagad na bakit siya na mali ang answer ko. Kaya pina-check ko kaagad. So, this is negative. Dapat cos 37. Thank you. 73.4 newtons. That is now our answer. Okay, kindly take note of the corrections. Cos 37. Ayan. Okay? So, 73.4 newtons. That's for T1. So, will it break? No. Kasi, sinabi dito, it will just break if it is exceeding 100 newtons. So, ang T1 natin is 73.4 newtons. So, it won't break. Next is for T2. Ang gagawin natin for T2 is just to substitute the value of T1 na. So, substitute T1 in equation number 3. Ayan. So, T2 is just equal to T3. Copy-paste ko lang ha. T3 minus T1 sine 37 all over sine 53. So, this is 122 newtons minus 73.4 sine 37 over sine 53. So, T2 is 97.4 newtons. Hapit na siya maguba, 97. Hapit na siya mag-exceed. May na lang wala na-exceed. So, that's for our answer, T1 and T2. So, that's how we answer our problem number 3. Ayan. Aha. So, our problem number 3. Okay? Any questions so far? Okay pa ta dira. Kung igutom na, okay lang magkaon gamay. Okay lang po mag-dinner, paminaw, while maminaw, while tanawon ninyo.
Sige sir, kuha sa kong foods.
Sige. Sige, let's have a 5-minute break, 10 minutes break. So, I'll be back by 7. Actually, 7:30 to moment. Atong time, di ba? 7:40. Let's have a 10-minute break muna. Okay lang?
Thanks, sir.
Sige, sige. 5 minutes break. 10 minutes break. Kuha sa mag-food. Sige, Vince, anong question, Vince?
Sir, ba't wala na lang di 122 sin 37 kagad?
122 sin 37 kaagad si
41, then yung T2 kay 122 sin 53 man ata. Okay.
okay. Wala na ako sa gingon ana kay kailangan man ako kailangan na to unsa ni makita na ang components sa nato ang ato ang buhaton kay if mangutan na nganong 122 sin 37 asa man siya gikan or 122 unsa tong isa cos sa 53 asa man siya gikan, di ba? So para ma-practice nato ang atong kuan is moato jud ta sa long method jud.
For now.
Pero ingon ani jud siya kay dili kaningon ana bitaw nga kuan nga solution is mag-work na siya if ingon ani what if 5 ka book cable ang nag-support. Lahi-lahi man gud siya. So mo to siya. Ang next problem na to kabalo na mo. Mo ni siya. Mag-off sa akong camera ha. Let's be back by 7. sorry akong na-exit na ako kung window. Sorry. Ay. Yan. Sige, let's proceed. Para dali ta mo man. Actually, dali na lang mga next na mga, especially this problem. Mga 15 minutes we're done. Okay, so let's have this problem. A 1,130 kilogram car is held in place by a light cable on a very smooth, frictionless ramp. The cable makes an angle of 31 degrees above the surface of the ramp, and the ramp itself rises at 25 degrees above the horizontal. Draw the free body diagram for A. B. Find the tension in the cable. And C. How hard does the surface of the ramp pushes on or the ramp push on the car? Okay, so let's have letter A. Ayan, kasha pa. Number 4, letter A. Free body diagram lang. So, isa lang na particle that is our car. So, X and Y axis. Sorry, dili mag-write. SOP, the car is nasa surface, so perpendicular the normal force. So Fn. And then I tension force sa cable at 31 degrees. So you have Ft. And this is 31. And then you have the weight. Again, weight is always going down. So you have Fg. And then by inspection, hindi lahat ng ating forces is naka X and Y components. So decompose Ft and Fg. So this is your Ftx. And this is your Fty. Yeah. And then you have your Fgy. Sorry na sobra. Fgy. And Fgx. Ayan. And this is, the ramp is 25, so this is 25 also. So, express natin sa Fty and Ftx. Ftx is just equal to opposite side adjacent side with respect to 31. So, this is Ft cos 31. And Fty is Ft sine 31. And Fgx, opposite. So, Fg sine 25. And Fgy is adjacent. So, Fg cosine 25. Where Fg, this is just the mass of the car, and that is 1,130 kilograms times G 9.8. So Fg is 1130 9.8. So this is 11,074 newtons. Okay, so let's solve for letter, by the way, this is the FBD na. Let's solve for letter B. Find the tension in the cable. So find Ft. Kasi hindi ka sure if mag-summation of forces ka sa Y or summation of forces ka sa X, right? So for me, by inspection ito, tinitignan ko muna si X at saka si Y muna. Let's start with X. Sa X ko, I have only FTX, and then FGX. I know FG already. Next is the Y. I have here FTY, FN, and then FGY. I don't know FTY, and then I don't know FN. So, dalawang unknowns ako kaagad. So, hindi ko magamit ng efficiently si summation of forces sa Y. So, doon muna ako sa X because I only have FGX as I only have FTX rather as my unknown lang. Okay, so for letter B, I will start with summation of forces sa X equal to 0. So I have si FGX
Sir,
papunta sa
excuse me, sir.
yes.
Nakaharang po yung
Ay, sorry.
sample problem, sir. Hindi makita
Sorry,
yun.
ayun.
Thank you,
Ayan.
sir.
Thank you. Ayan. So kaganyan ako nag body diagram mo kita. Sorry. So, again, if mag summation of forces ako sa X, I have FGX and then FTX. So I only know FGX but I don't know FTX. If summation of forces sa Y ako mag-start, I don't know FN and then I don't know FTY. So mag two unknowns ako kaagad if I want to make use of summation of forces sa Y para makuha si FT or si tension force. So I don't want that one kasi mas haba ang solution ko for letter B. So doon na lang ako kay summation of forces sa X kasi si FTX na lang ang unknown. Okay, so summation of forces sa X, this is equal to 0. So I have negative FGX plus FTX equal to 0. So FTX is just equal to FGX, wherein si FTX, this is just FT cos 31, and then FGX, this is FG sin 25. Yan. So FT is just equal to FG sin 25 over cos 31. Substituting FG kasi we have solved that one. So this is 11,074 newtons times sin 25 all over cos 31. So FT, this is equal to sin 25 cos 31. So this is 5,459.9 newtons. So by significant figures, I have 3 sig figs. So I have 5,460. Sulat ko na muna. 5,459.9 newtons. So FT is 5,460 newtons. By the way, nasabi ko na ito sa first sample problem na ang mga answers ko is basing on the given na significant figures, least significant figures. So ang least sig fig ko dito is 3 sig figs. I have 31.0, I have 25.0 degrees, and then I have 1,130 kilograms. So 3 sig figs silang lahat. So 5,460 newtons. That's for letter B. And for letter C, how hard daw the ramp push on the car? So actually, it is asking for the support given by the ramp, diba? And that support is actually coming from the normal force. By the way, the normal force is magkakaroon ng normal force if merong support or if merong surface. So, eto siya, si car, para maging upright pa yan siya kahit nasa ramp, kailangan pa rin niya ng normal force. Kaya may normal force. Kaya may push force galing kay ramp. Okay? And then, makuha natin yan siya through our summation of forces sa Y. Kasi natapos na tayo kay X. Obviously, hindi na natin siya magagamit for that one. So, summation of forces sa Y equal to 0. So, you have here si FTY, FN, at saka si FGY. FTY and FN going up. So, you have FTY plus FN. And then your FG going down, minus FGY rather, going down, equal to 0. So, this is, hinahanap si FN. Fn is just equal to Fgy minus Fty. So this is Fg. Ano ba sa Fg natin? Fgy. Cos 25 minus Fty. This is Ft sine 31. So this is equal to 11,074 newtons cos 25 minus Ft 54. Ang gagamitin ko na value for this one is yung Ft na kompleto muna. Si 5459.9 newtons. So Fn is equal now to, sine 31 pa. Cos 25 sine 31. So this is 7224. .4 newtons, or this is 3 sig fig. So 24 is closer to 20 than 30. So this is 7 to 20 newtons. That's our answer. Any questions so far? Any questions? Yes. Sige. Let's have the last problem. The last problem is, it is paired with friction na. Okay. So my friction, ito, hinahanap na si kinetic. Calculate for the coefficient of kinetic friction. Sana nakita nyo na ang lecture notes for this one. Consider the system shown. Block A weighs 45 newtons and block B weighs 25 newtons. Once block B is set into downward motion, it descends at a constant speed. Calculate the coefficient of kinetic friction between block A and the tabletop. So hindi siya frictionless. So there's friction between block A and the tabletop. And if the kaibahan lang of the dalawang friction lahat, because you have static friction and kinetic friction. Once our objects are in motion na, diretso yan siya kaagad na dapat you are analyzing it na using kinetic friction. Once na it is at rest, it is still in using the idea of static friction. Okay, that's the difference between the two, the major difference. Once na in motion, whether it is constant acceleration or not constant acceleration, it is accelerating or constant speed, it is still kinetic friction. Okay? So this is still following first law of motion because ang keyword natin dyan is si constant speed. Where if sinabi nga sa inyo na constant speed, may makita kayong constant speed, dapat ang pumasok sa inyo is it should be undergoing first law of motion. Because when we say constant speed, acceleration is equal to 0. So summation of forces is just equal to 0 pa din. Okay? Now let's solve for this one. Minimize. Ayan. Number 5. This is the last problem for first law. So FBD of A, BDA. So you have the normal force, Fn, and then you have the tension force, Ft, and then you have the weight, Fg of A. Now, for the friction, for the kinetic friction, si B daw is set into a downward motion. So, ang motion ni A is to the right. So, meaning to say, if to the right siya, ang friction na force is acting opposite to it, opposite to the motion. So if to the right siya, ang friction natin is to the left. So this will now be our friction. Oops. Our friction vector. Force F. Friction natin is small letter F. Okay? So, para kumuha ng friction force, ganyan, FF, para makuha yan is that it is just equal to mu K times the normal force. Okay? So, this is FK pa talaga. Ayan, FK. Mu K times the normal force. Always remember, in getting static friction or kinetic friction is just equal to mu K, the coefficient of kinetic friction, times the normal force. If static friction or maximum static friction, it is just equal to mu S, or the coefficient of static friction, times the normal force. This is the standard na, not the standard, this is our mathematical description of our friction. It is always coefficient times the normal force. Okay? And then we have the FBDB. So you have the tension force going up, and then you have the weight, FGB. Oops. Ayan. Okay? So, first law pa din. And let's solve. I will start with summation of forces sa B muna. Sa B. So, using the FBD of B. Using FBD B. Okay? So, summation of forces sa Y is equal to 0. So, this is FT minus FGB equal to 0. So, FT is just equal to FGB. Wherein FGB, it is given the weight of block B is 25 newtons. So FT is just equal to 25 newtons. Okay? Next is, I will have now FBDA. FBDA. Okay. So, I will start with X. Bakit ako mag-start kay X? Kasi nandyan yung hinahanap ko muna. Si mu K. Diyan si FK eh. So, summation of forces sa X is just equal to 0. So, I have negative FFK minus FT equal to 0. And then, for all I know, solving for the friction force, it is just equal to mu K times the normal force. So, this is negative mu K times the normal force minus Ft equal to 0. So, solving for F... Yes, yes.
Minus FT, sir. Hindi, plus.
Sorry, plus. Thank you. Plus Ft. Thank you. So, plus Ft. So, solving for mu K, algebra, mu K is just equal to negative Ft over negative Fn. Okay? Or mu K is just equal to Ft over Fn. We already know Ft, and that is 25 newtons. But we don't know Fn yet. So, makikita natin yun siya kay Y. So, solving for Fn. Yan. So, summation of forces sa Y equal to 0. So, I have the normal force and then FGA. By the way, later na lang. So, this is Fn minus FGA equal to 0. So, Fn is equal to FGA. So, Fn is now equal to FGA is 45 newtons. 45 newtons. That is our normal force. Okay, now, ito yung sasabihin ko sana kanina. Just be careful in analyzing some of the problems regarding the normal force. There are people na sinasabi na, especially yung galing sa senior high na ADU, sinasabi natin last time na, sinasabi nyo last time na kapag normal force, diretso kay weight. Yan siya always ang nakikita ko sa mga solution ng paper. No, it is not always the case. Nagkataon lang that the normal force for this one is just equal to the weight because first is nasa horizontal table lang siya. Okay? And then, second is walang nakakabit na cable sa kanya na nakapataas para magkaroon ng Y component. Okay? Kasi the moment na nasa ramp yan siya, nakita natin yan siya kanina. Balikan ko lang ha. Saan yun? Ito. Yan. Na moment na nasa ramp yan siya, si normal force natin, it is not equal to the weight mismo diretso. It is equal to the Y component of the weight. Okay? Just take note of that one. Kasi there are people na mo diretso jud normal force diretso na siya weight. No, that's wrong. Kasi you have to inspect first or you have to analyze first your free body diagram. Especially if nasa ramp and if meron kang several cables na naka-attach sa ating object. Okay? But for this time, Fn natin is equal to the weight. That is 45 newtons. So, the coefficient of kinetic friction now is equal to Ft over Fn, and that is 25 newtons over 45 newtons. So, mu k is 0.555556. Three significant figures, 0.556. That is now our answer. Wala siya unit. Unitless ang mga coefficient of friction. May it be mu k or mu s. And sometimes it is less than 1. Okay? Kasi there are instances na mag-1 yan siya, especially if mahirap siya i-push or mahirap pagalawin ang isang bagay. Medyo it needs a greater force. Kaya mag-1 yan siya, mag-close to unity. Okay? Any questions so far? Okay. I think wala. Going 1. Going 2. Okay. So, 7:30 tanahuman. 7:30. Wala, nag 2 hours ko. Pero, naman nag-break man ta. So, wala ta kabog 2 hours. Okay? So, please don't forget, we still have the second law of motion on Saturday. Okay? So, I will not be sa Saturday ha, I will also not be discussing the new laboratory. Siguro on Monday na next week or on Wednesday next week na si laboratory na i-discuss. Bagong laboratory. Wala munang laboratory. Okay? Medyo taas-taas sa pag time. Okay ta?
Okay kayo.
Okay, guys. Question, Ivan?
No, kay concern sa cancer. Sa diagram, sir, ba na isulod ang lesson 3?
Oh, naan na. Di niyo makitaan?
Wala ko makita,
Ano?
sir.
Na, di niyo makita? Nanagot siya sulod.
Katon tiles, sabot, sir.
Oo. Nana dito ang mga ano.
Abot lang ko
Wala din pa sa akin, sir.
Nakabutan lang, sir.
Wala.
Please read chapter 4 and 5. Yun lang.
Hamo lang? Wala yung mga tiles?
Wala, sir.
Oh. Oo. Ay, Diyos ko. Wait lang. Sorry, nakasulat din hidden from students tanan. Wait lang ha. Sorry kayo. Paano ba ito? Expand. Sorry. Kasi I made this available sa ano. Ayun, na-show na ako. Ayan. Na-show na. Sorry kaayo guys. Bantugra, hilom kaayo mo. Ayan. Sorry. Thank you for informing. Actually, available sa tong kuan pa. Tong Monday. Wala din mo nagkuan. Sorry. Ayun, na available na ako. You have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 tiles na full of video. And then, the last is the sample problem, the copy, and then the lecture notes. Okay? Sige. Sir, kailan po deadline ng lab number 2? Lab number 2, hopefully by the end of this week, this Saturday. Kasi madali lang naman din naman si lab number 2. Pero ang nilagay ko ata is next week pa. Nag-30 ata ako kay lab number 2. But I appreciate if earlier. Okay? So, I will end our meeting. I will stop recording.